Hey team, there is a lot that I usually try to fit into that 30 minutes or so that we have when you guys come in before programming. Just y'all are trying to get stuff together for the day. I'm usually talking really fast about the schedule or community time, etc. And so what I'm want to try out, and you guys can let me know if it works or if you feel like, yeah, no, it's not really helpful, are just to make some videos about things that are coming up, community time stuff, which we'll be talking about today, notes, coaching notes, tips, ideas that I have that may help you with classroom management, etc. And then uploading them into a playlist and just giving you guys the links to it. Today's video is going to be about community time because this week there is a new schedule where community time will only be on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for an hour. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you'll see on your schedule where it has just kind of like a check-in huddle. We still have to check in with the kids every day. So that huddle time on the schedule is only for 15 minutes, where basically you will circle your group up, because anytime we're checking in, we're doing community time, it's group time. Everybody should be in a circle. I'll talk a little bit more about that here in a second, but you'll see that on the schedule for 15 minutes. They can just stand up. You can get your kids, in a room or in a cafeteria, in a space. We circle up. They say their name. They say how they feel. You're just checking in with the kids. Hey, how's everybody feeling? Are we tired today? Is the energy up? Are there issues? Just like a quick check-in with your group. So that will happen on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then we will have formal community time for an hour on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So this week's community time, we're going to actually be talking about cooperation. The domain will come out of building relationships, really trying to build relationship between you and your group, the group with each other, and just kind of working on those team dynamics since, we have relatively new groups. And so we're going to be talking about cooperation versus division. So here's the time frame. For 1 to 2 minutes, when you come into the classroom, make sure that your group is sitting in a circle. Community time should always be done in a circle. That is how we include everybody without there being a hierarchy. Now, there are some kids who like to separate themselves from the circle. And again, we're trying to include everyone. But community time, check-in, group chats, all of that stuff should be done in a circle. And staff should be in the circle as well. Whether you choose to sit on the floor, whether you choose to sit in a chair, that's your choice, just kind of based on needs. But everybody should be in a circle during community time. That's how we know it's community time. So when I walk in the classroom and you're scheduled to have community time, but I have kids laying down on the floor over here, they're laying on their backs or on their stomachs or whatever, and you're trying to run community time, that's not what it's supposed to look like. So everybody should be in a circle. The next 1 to 2 minutes should include you going over your community time expectations. A lot of you guys are skipping this step, and it's important. Every day, you need to tell your group what is expected from them during community time. So here are my expectations, and you can add your own if you have them. Everyone should be sitting up. As I said before, we're all sitting up. Now, I'll get to some situations and using like being able to take your shoes off and laying down as rewards, but ideally, just in general community time, everybody should be sitting up. No one should be doing other things or be outside of the circle. So get rid of the distractions. Nobody should have things in their hands unless they have like fidget objects. And, even those shouldn't be all that noticeable, just something that maybe they're turning around over in their lap. Only one person talks at a time with permission. We do not comment on what people share. Okay, so this is something that I've seen as well. If someone shares that they're angry or somebody shares that they're mad, we don't necessarily have to comment on that, right? So nobody should, have anything to say about what somebody shares because, again, it's a safe space. So even I myself try not to comment on what a student shares. So 1 to 2 minutes, really briefly go over your expectations. You cannot hold them accountable for what they're doing if you don't tell them this is what is expected and what's not. So 1 to 2 minutes to go over your community time expectation. Those expectations are not the rights, the rules, and the climb. That is something totally different. Then you should only take 2 to 3 minutes to go over the Clayton rights, the rules, and the climb. 2 to 3 minutes. Here's a tip for you to cut down on that time, because there's a lot of arguing and different things about who's doing it. Well, that's not fair because she did it twice already or whatever. Pick one student every day to do all three. Pick a student that you know knows all three of them. That way it can just go back to back. Repeat after me, da 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 da. Repeat after me, da 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 da. Repeat after me, da 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 da. We move on. So that's just the tip. Pick one student to do all three every day. And then encourage those students who don't really know the rights, the rules, or the climb to learn it. So that way they get an opportunity. So encourage them to pay attention, but those should really be led by people who actually know them. So that should happen under 5 minutes. Then you do the student check-in. So this is where they go around, they say their name, they say how they feel. That is all they should say. This spending 5 and 10 and 15 minutes giving kids time to ramble, that's not the time for that. Okay, really, it should just be, hi, my name is Miss Jasmine and I feel good. Next person. If someone expresses something that you are genuinely concerned about, you can say, hey, if you're feeling upset, if you're angry, if you want to talk to me, you can come, check with me a little bit later if you want to talk. If not, that's fine. If somebody shares something and they look like they really having a hard time, just make a mental note to find some time to check in with them and see what else may be going on. But we do not need everybody in the circle spending 5 minutes talking about what they have going on. So that whole check-in process really should be, the goal should be to try to get that at or around 5 to 6 minutes, depending on how many kids. Most of y'all have like 18 kids. So if they're spending 15, 20 seconds doing their spiel, you should be able to knock that out. If you feel like you really do want kids to kind of share, what's behind some of that emotion, give them a time limit. Tell everybody you have 30 seconds to share how you feel. If you want to add something, what did you do this weekend? You have 30 seconds. Because 30 seconds can be very long, and some of our kids are hijacking community time, going on and on and on and on. Give them a limit. But the standard should just be, just say your name and say how you feel, and then make those notes about the kids that you feel like you may want to check in with later on. Then after the student check-in, this is when you move into your actual community time, which is the sheet that I normally give you guys about what is happening. You start with your opening discussion, and depending on the flow of the class, you may actually start with the activity. If the activity is designed to bring something out and then y'all discuss it, cool. But start with your opening discussion, which usually includes questions that we're asking the kids that lead to whatever we're going to teach them. That should only take about 5 to 10 minutes between the discussion and then what you're teaching them. So for this week, we're talking about cooperation. So we're going to teach them the definition. The definition of cooperation means to work together. Right? So then you just have them repeat that. Repeat after me. Cooperation means work together. Right? So you're giving them an opportunity to say it. You're saying it. They're saying it. Now, what does cooperation mean? Cooperation means work together. All right? And then teach them the definition of division. Outside of math, what does division mean? Division means two separate visions. DI, the prefix die, means to separate into two. And vision, that means we're working towards two different goals. We cannot cooperate moving towards the same goal if we have division in the group. Okay, so you're teaching your kids cooperation, we work together, division, we separate, and we're going after two different things. This is what you're teaching them on Monday. On Monday, we're giving them definitions. They should be able to walk away and say, cooperation means to work together. If I ask one of your kids, what did y'all learn in community time today? Cooperation means work together. Or division means we separate into two groups, or we don't work together, or we divide, right? Those are the things that they should walk away from. That's what you're teaching them on Monday. Then you have your activities. This should be between 20 and 25 minutes of that time. So again, community time has to be very efficient to get everything in that 1 hour. So you've got to be on top of making sure you got your stuff together, kind of how long things should take, and moving them from one thing to the next thing. So then the activities are designed to help students practice. So the way that it's set up is we introduce the skill on Monday. The kids practice Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday on that skill. And then we spend Friday reflecting on the skill that we've been talking about all week long. So We talk and introduce cooperation on Monday, all throughout the rest of the week with the activities. They will be practicing working together. What does cooperation look like and that kind of thing. And then by the time we get to Friday, we can reflect on, were we successful? How can we cooperate better moving forward? Was it hard? Are there specific people in the group who made cooperation difficult, right? So community time really should be about challenging our students to make real life connections between what we're teaching them and what's really happening in their lives. And then for them to be able to have deeper conversations about what it means to really work together as a team and build those relationships, and even touch a little bit on leadership as well. So for the activities for this week, there are a couple of different things that are happening. Number one, we're going to have family group challenges. So as you know, everybody's group, we're calling them families. Sometimes I call them groups, sometimes I call them family groups, but family group challenges. And what that means is on Monday, your activity will be mission number 1. The goal is to be the group that completes the most missions throughout the week. So during community time, every group will get the first mission, and it's the same for everyone. The first mission, it'll be outlined on the sheet, is your group has to create an artwork where everybody has a part. Okay? So however you want to have your group create some kind of artwork. It could be a giant poster. It could be some kind of collage. It could be anything. But your group has to create some kind of artwork where every member of the group, including staff, can point to, this is my piece. This is my part. That's what I did. This is my section. This is my contribution to this artwork. So you've got to find a way to bring everybody together to create this work of art that represents your group, where everybody who's present has participated. So that is your activity on Monday. And that is what you will be doing during that community time. Now, for the week, once you complete a mission, then you can get a second mission. Now, how that works, I'm still working on whether or not you come get a mission from me, or I send it to you, or we have some place in the office where you can come and get the next mission. But once you complete a mission and you can prove that you've completed the mission, then you get a second mission. And so throughout the week, you'll have various things that your group will be challenged to try and complete. This includes some projects that the group has to work on together, some of the rules. Some of the missions in the program are successful execution of the rules, quiet transitions. Your group has to be able to transition from the classroom to the cafeteria, or from the cafeteria to the classroom, with no talking. 0. The minute somebody opens their mouth, the mission is void. You got to try it again at a different time. And so these missions are not confined to community time, but they happen throughout the program. Getting through snack time in 15 minutes, getting through dinner in 15 minutes, getting our kids to be more efficient during the day. We waste a lot of time talking. And so a lot of the missions will be time-based, but they will happen throughout the program. So when you go do your restroom break, all right, guys, our second mission or our third mission is we have to be able to do a quiet transition. And so you are teaching the kids what the mission is. And you're helping them, because what you will teach them on Wednesday are the parts to successfully executing a mission. So I'm going to tell you this so that way you also know. You should not end community time without having reflection, where you circle the kids back up and you go over what you taught and what they should have learned. This is also asking some of the deeper questions. If they did really well, how do y'all feel about our artwork? Right? Oh, it's cool. I think it's going to be fly, right? I'm excited to show Miss Jasmine or show the other groups what we did. Or, maybe everybody's in their feelings because they didn't cooperate that well, because one kid decided they didn't want to do it, right? How did that make you feel to have one person that didn't cooperate? Well, when you don't cooperate, how do you think you make other people feel? So you're asking those deeper questions so that way students can start thinking like, oh, man, yeah, I do be doing that sometimes. Sometimes that is me. I don't like the way that feels, so maybe I should stop doing it so that way I don't make other people feel like this as well. We have to get reflection time in. It's supposed to be in all of our activities, but especially during community time. Making sure that you're keeping your eye on the clock and how much time you have so your activities don't run too long and you don't have that reflection time. So your community time should start with the circle and should end with the circle. And then you line your kids up and you move them on to the next activity or to the next thing.